by tradition.
Hold
And that
tight.
is hold tight the 3-point collectors.
Next thing, Tottenham are whipping boys for Liverpool. You lot ain't beat us in how long? So look at your face. So when I
I'm about to roll it.
they forget about when the council is going to take the free.
Oh, for real? When there was a little car park out front. Let's talk about sex, baby.
Let's hold
Liverpool. And as much as we can talk about Mane is a good player, Salah's a good player, they're just not the X factor, bro. Don't forget about it.
Boom, we back. We live, baby. New intro, new studio, new hairdos, new clothes, new cameras.
Yeah,
Yo, listen, welcome back
leveling up
to a new season of Stoppage Time TV. We're live in the flesh, live and direct in the flesh. You already know what time it is. We missed you guys. Thank you for having us back. How you been, bro? You good?
Good, all good. I'm excited to be back, bro.
Listen, man, it's been a long time coming and we're back.
Season's back, fans are back, football's back,
Do you know what else is back?
goals are back.
The 3-point collection is
Oh, tight!
So wherever you are, if you collected 3 points, hold tight the 3-point collectors. Speaking of threes, you're probably wondering where our third cast member is. And it's come to my attention that since his transfer to Goal, we have some issues over image rights.
Hold
So
on. Isn't this the same guy who on the very last episode when me and you weren't here was saying he's the hardest working member of Stoppage Time? Where you, Cam?
he's
Where you?
We're having issues with over image rights now that he works for Goal. So once we get that sorted, he should be back with us. But the fee they're asking for the image rights is a bit bad. So obviously he's there every day now, streaming on like a 22 million account now, innit? So obviously the bag's gone up, innit?
Fry to him now.
So obviously Manscaped, if you can help us with the fee, obviously you've helped with the studio, help us with hashtag Cam back, get Cam back.
Yes.
Listen, we're not even doing the YouTube thing, innit, where people can think, you know, on the live thing.
Cam back.
Like,
I like that.
Let's get Cam back.
This episode, make sure it's in the
Hashtag
title.
Cam back.
Hashtag Cam back.
Send in your P's, write to your local MPs. Go give us our boy back, man. We need him back. Like,
Free Cam.
But listen, man, I think first things first, before we even get into any football and anything, RIP God Muller.
Hey, for real, man.
Legend in the game. Yeah. Legend in the game. Like unprecedented what he did. That record on. It's crazy how that record finally was broken last year. And it's like, okay, I've seen it now. Cool. 75 as well. Good innings.
Bro, the amount, how long did he have the World Cup record as well? Like,
that's
the
true,
guy
actually,
is a footballing
certified legend.
When you look at his numbers, it's
crazy.
ridiculous. And I know it's probably even before our time, but we still got.
It's not
appreciate
probably.
the
It is.
bruv.
Man said,
No, listen, I'm talking in my regard. You know, I'm a seasoned vet into this thing, man. Hey, but nah, that's a real legend. Rest in peace, man.
Real talk. And I mentioned Manscaped, but obviously remember 20% off STTV. Get your products in. I didn't even know they got a new thing. They got the crop mop.
Refined. They got.
Man said the crop mop.
Fam.
Man said, you know when you got the appointments and you just need to
Listen, just the quick, you know the quick. Man ain't got the time to do for the full thing. Hey, she's round the corner. Hey, quick that. Man, them.
Listen, make sure you
yourselves
get your
out.
products in. 20% off. I know, obviously, we haven't had the most sunniest of summers, but listen, man,
Hey, the
festivals
heat
are
is still
coming.
there.
The heat is
still
coming.
there.
Concerts are back now. COVID is gone. We're outside. Don't be going to the function dusty. Go accordingly. Smell fresh.
Get your
Get
foot
me?
buster for that. You know what I mean? We got the crop cleanser, crop mop,
Fam,
everything,
listen,
bro.
Make sure you go and check it out, man. But let's get into it. In fact, before we even get into it, bro, listen. Man said Don Robbie TV represent. Man, I said you're the king of the Lily Whites. They didn't want to hear. Now man's there. With Don Robbie and that on the Cumberland sofa. You ain't never seen a sofa like that before. You don't have them sofas in Somaliland.
Fam,
Why did I say Cumbria? Chesterfield. I'm so
I
dumb.
saw
so
Premier
dumb.
League trophies all around me. I said, hey, this is the closest I'm gonna get. But shout out Don Robbie and the AFTV
Nah, real talk. You
team,
did
man.
your thing as well. You were schooling, but I think that's probably the best place to start. You know, I mean, most recent game, think last year or last season when we were looking at the fixtures and everything, we were saying, boy, your fixtures don't look too great. But I mean, what a way to start. Fans back in the stadium. No Kane for both teams. But
do you know what? You can legitimately say that.
There's no Kane for both teams. But you get it done. Like, talk to me about the game in general, man. I mean, as a Spurs fan, you must be gassed. I think the whole league got gassed.
Bro, I was so surprised. I mean, when we was on that stream, I said right at the start, I said, I'm probably going 3-1 loss. I said, the only thing I'm looking for today is character. I want to see what Nuno's drilling into these,
them
man.
FA Cups?
Yeah, bro.
You know the FA Cup third round?
Man, just show me you're fighting for the badge. And bro, I can't lie to you. I saw that and some more. Now, fair, I can't sit here and say, oh, we absolutely scored them or whatever. City came at us. Then first 20 minutes, first half, they had about 3 or 4 chances to put the game to bed. I think Mahrez missed a sitter. Cancelo had one chance that fell to him as well. Like, there was a couple of chances where you just thought, yo, if City bury these early on, Spurs are long gone. And you're thinking without Kane as well, who's, top scorer last year, top assister. We're done out here. But, bro, I got to give Nuno some credit, man. I was a little bit, on him last week because the Endom comments, him maybe wanting to get the Harry Kane deal done and dusted. I was like, hey, the way he set us up today, with Skip and Højbjerg in front, mopping up everything. Anytime the balls went wide, them man were almost double pressing. And then it's like, you had this unit back here, but then he told the front three, don't
Explore
drop.
yourself, yeah.
And that, I can't lie to you, that's probably the most fluid I've seen our front three in a long time.
Would you say that is the difference between sort of, because ultimately, you know how a lot of people would say that, Nuno is not too dissimilar from Jose, 5 at the back, defensive first and whatnot.
Yeah.
Would you say that is, if you could highlight one difference you've seen in the Spurs squad already, would you say it's that difference that the front
I
three?
literally said it on stream as well. I said the difference between Nuno and Jose, I think Jose would have told Moore and Bergwijn, track them fullbacks all the way back, and then getting back up is a myth, bro.
Yeah, it's a big
Nuno
stadium
said,
as well.
nah, do you know what? Let me use your pace well in the areas where I need it. And City's midfield, they left Fernandinho on an island. I'm sorry, you can't leave a 33-year-old. I think you said it.
He's 36.
What is he like? 36?
Yeah,
Lord have mercy.
you're 36.
Brother,
You're 30.
I think you said it. Since Mount done him in that game, he ain't been the same, bro.
I saw a tweet, and like it said that Fernandinho was probably looking at Tanganga. Is like, this guy copied my whole thing.
Hey, listen.
Just copied my whole flex.
Tanganga, big him up, man. Like, literally.
Told you shouldn't go on.
Bro, I said it. When they talking about Galatasaray, I said, yo, you know what? Maybe it'll be good for him development-wise if we're not going to use him. Right back issue solved. That right back issue solved. I'm sorry.
Would you keep him there, yeah?
I'm keeping him there because every time I've seen him play there, he's done a good enough job. Now, the only issue I have is a similar thing like Wan-Bissaka. Going forward, he lacks that little bit. There was one diagonal pass, I think Reguilon played to him, and he was in about 20 yards of space. He couldn't control it. The ball went out of play. And I said,
But remember,
it's moments like that. But what he offers, like, defensively, nowadays, bro, fullbacks are awful defensively. What he's offering there, especially in the big games, I've seen him against Mane. I've seen him lock up the 100 mil most greatest signing in Premier League. Shut up, Grealish. Spent more time on the ground than you did actually impacting the game. Couple dribbles. I'm sorry. 100 mil, man. We want more. Wait till Cam comes back. Wait till we're going to put some expectations on Grealish to see. Bro, most expensive transfer of all time. Nah, I'm sorry. I expected a lot more from him today. Second half, he completely faded out of the game.
We'll get into transfers because there's a conversation I want to have about.
I thought City, the whole second half, they just, I don't know, they didn't kick up that second gear that I thought they would find. They created way more chances. Nuno's plan worked to a T. Front three worked well.
Let me ask you about that.
Put the team on his back as well. Love my boy, man.
With what you've just said, how much of that is down to the game plan by Spurs or City not being where they need to be for the start of the season?
I think that
like,
definitely
Sterling had no preseason minutes.
Yeah.
Grealish played a tournament and he's starting. There had a few people we probably thought, KDB coming off the bench. Well, to be fair, he came off the bench, but yeah, he was injured. True, yeah. So do you reckon that you stifled them, or do you reckon that within themselves they just weren't ready?
Oh, we 100% stifled them. We 100% stifled them. And the thing was, even Robbie said it. He said this is probably the best time to play them. With them having so many players coming back in and out, it's like they just lost last week to Leicester. Catch them while they're low on confidence, get them now. And we took advantage of that. And to be honest, we could have even got a second one if Bergwijn slotted that one chance in the second half. It could have been dead and buried. But that's the difference in these games, bro. If you can stifle your opposition and then the 2 or 3 chances that fall to you, you could take them. I said set pieces are going to be key today. Those were the 2 areas we were most dangerous: counter-attacks and set pieces. I've got to give Nuno full credit for that, man, in all honesty.
No,
but City's obviously lack of preparation and players missing will always play a part for sure.
No, it's a good place. I think it's a good place to start in it. Like again, everyone looked at the at the fixture list and they said, yeah, these men are gonna get smoked. But what is so funny now is, for me personally, this result for me is the worst thing that could have happened for Harry Kane. Because
speak on it.
The way I see it is now, is if you go after your team's lost, the fact that, you know, that sentimental value of the fans, it reduces a bit more.
Yeah.
Even though he came back and was like, listen, guys, you know, what's coming, Nah, the sentimental value reduces a little bit. Now, if Levy is the man I believe him to be, word to Fat Joe, yesterday's price is not today's price.
It ain't.
So that's another 20 mil. He's probably gonna try.
I said it.
I saw you, man. You brought on Jesus. He didn't do nothing. You need a striker. Let's negotiate.
Desperate.
So now he may not even get that move. And with Nuno, I've seen what with the Ndombele thing. I don't think he's bold enough to be like, listen, Harry Kane's available. I'm not going to play him. But I certainly do think that he's the type of person that can say, son, you can be the main guy in this team, and I can get the other 2 to do more. If we don't have to use Kane, I won't. I feel like he has the ability to do that. Like,
no, I agree.
He's not Jose level of shithousery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he has the ability, even if it's for the first few games of the season, he'll get more out of those guys. He'll be like, listen, if his head's not here and he's not part of the team.
Who was Jota before Wolves? Who was Adama Traore? Who was Jimenez? Like, he's got a knack for getting more out of that. But just on the Kane thing, couldn't have said it any better. Like, if Levy's a smart man now, he looks at City's situation and he says, right, you man are really starving.
You need this more than we need it.
You need this. And this is the thing I've been telling about City fans, that why they're so shouldn't be so confident. I'm like, the position of power is actually with us this summer. Because he's got that 3 years left on his contract.
Is it 3 years?
He's got 3 years from this summer. So it's like...
I know it's not this week, but his brother, if his brother's his agent, has to have like an eternal Dundee, because at least with Jack Grealish, them man had it in the contracts that, listen, if this bid comes in, a man's 6-year deal, and all it was a handshake. Like,
man up going on.
Man are doing cheers. Sit there and do your
I'm
contract.
sorry, you're naive if you're going off a gentleman's agreement when you renew for a 6-year contract with 3 years still remaining on your last one. 3 years, bro, and now you've got 3 years left, and City think they can come and lowball us after they've just overpaid for Grealish. Nah, sorry. This is the price, and the price of the brick just went up. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. You know what? Let's get into some other games as well, because obviously you spoke about North London. Let's talk to the other side of North London.
Oh,
so Friday night football.
What a beautiful weekend.
And in the words of Ivan Toney, a lovely kickabout with my mates.
Aye. Can we just salute that for a second?
If that's the energy the Premier League's coming on this season, I'm with it.
Man, I don't respect Arsenal no more.
You know, you do kickabouts on a Friday night with the man, you know what? A man said it was a kickabout.
I said I went goals 5-a-side and just had a kickabout with the lads. I'm going home.
Arsenal are in big trouble. I don't even know how to unpack this, but Arsenal are in big trouble. I mean, Brentford, credit where credit's due. I know it's only the first game of the season, but the diligence to know how to defeat this team, to press them, to impose yourself. Fam, I saw the revival of Stoke ball. Bro. I'm seeing from both sides, they have long throws.
You hit the nail on the head there. For me, I think you have to take into account their first, top flight game since 1947.
Their first ever. They're the newest Premier League team.
World War II had just finished the last time they were in the Premier League, bro.
Bro, do you know how mad it is? That was the first time they had a full stadium in that stadium.
Lord have mercy.
The first time.
And this is their first season in the new stadium.
No. They opened it last year,
innit?
With the COVID and that. Didn't have full stadium. This is the first time the stadium was full to the rafters.
I love it, man. They're not far from me, local team. Listen, they're coming up. And I think they could be like there's always one of the teams in the Championship that comes up and does above expected. What Sheffield did. Swansea were doing. I feel like they could be that team this year. I think Mbembo is the pace.
That's my guy.
Tony is the target, man. They've got a nice
double up well.
I think the 5 man at the back, as you're saying, this Stoke ball, they're about it. They can get ugly. And I think that's the issue I have with Norwich. I'm sure we'll get onto as well. Yeah. But I always feel like if you're a Championship team coming up, you have to have that ugliness about you as well. You can't think, oh, we popped champagne ball in the championship, and when we come up, nah, bro, man said
the
Route
champagne
one-
in the championship is different to the Premier League.
di-
You know,
brother.
like when you go out in Century and the prices are different.
It's
Like,
mad.
you know,
Extortion.
Production, you got tape on that. You know when you know when the flavors and things are all different. They give you XO instead of the usual thing. Real talk. It's
Hey,
different now. You have to
trust me.
acclimatize, and yeah, teams like Norwich typically don't do that. And I admired like trying to impose your own philosophy, but you've kind of got to adapt to what's behind you. I mean, Brentford did well. Arsenal, I mean, I can see it now. Lukaku looked up to Drogba, playing against Arsenal. I can see what potentially could happen there,
Bro,
and I
it's
don't think it will be nice.
50
Just
million on.
Don't you ever.
That's
bare
and
licks to them,
those
man.
are Ben White's cheeks. He's clapping right there.
Whoa, buddy.
Whoa, pause. Well, that Lukaku will be clapping him. But brother, that is a scary sight. I'm sorry. To think that Lukaku's going to make his debut against Ben White. I'm sorry. Ben White, 50 million. You lot overpaid massively. And this is like, oh, where was the stat? There was a stat about his, and I'm not like a defensive stat guy, but the basics of defending, tackling and
50,
aerial
50s,
duels,
yeah,
bro.
what,
They were both on the
48%?
50%. I said, what is this? This is meant to be your marquee that we build around the back. Explain to me, if 50 million on Ben White makes sense, is Saliba that bad? Is Saliba that far off Ben White that you need to loan him out and spend 50 million on Ben White?
Listen, football.
Arsenal fans, let us know, please.
Football's a game of opinions, yeah, but some people's opinions are just wrong. And I think Arteta's got it wrong with Saliba. And the thing is, with Ben White, it's one game. I don't want to go to into the internet and everything. But I was having this conversation, and what I worry about is Ben White's young, innit? He's one of them guys, you know, played for Leeds, played for Brighton, played for these vibey teams, innit? But when you come to Arsenal, you're a big signing. You're expected to perform a certain way. But at the same time, if you're a young player, you're supposed to be coached and developed to play like that. So realistically, I can't remember the last defender that was coached and improved at Arsenal. Furthermore, I can't remember the last player that was coached and improved at Arsenal. I've seen the youngsters play well, but that's not them improving. That's them, you know, just showing the level that they can be at. Like
Raw potential.
we always say
almost.
it, and you know, I did that tweet one time when I was like, imagine Pep's looking at Saka as his next left back. Imagine if he went and was coached by someone like Guardiola. The levels
Scary.
that when these players, young talents, go with proper managers, they go up levels. I haven't seen that with Arsenal forever. I think I tried to have a conversation with someone, and we're like, the last person that actually improved at Arsenal, improved through coaching, might have been Chamberlain when he changed position. Apart from that, who has actually improved? No. No, but I'm saying, you know,
Ramsey?
I know what you mean.
Ramsey?
Was Ramsey coached to improve, or was he just elevating? Do you get where I'm coming from?
think he was- I
You
don't
can see a player actually coached, and there's
I
certain
would
things
say
that they've
Wenger coached him to improve.
Okay, so we're talking
what
Wenger days. So look at
Post
that.
Wenger, you mean?
Post Wenger, who's actually improved through coaching in that team?
Tough.
I find it difficult. I find it difficult to
Tough,
identify.
yeah.
Eddie Martinez.
Nah.
You're
They
cheeky.
locked onto him and then fumbled it, and then
he
now.
improved through the struggle.
Bro.
You know them meal sort of moments there. Man got it from the mud.
But even another Arteta situation. Emi Martinez sold for 20 mil last summer to sign Ramsdale for 24 million this summer. It's just there's little moves and things I'm seeing around Arsenal, and I said this year I expected them to finish above us purely because they don't have European football.
I don't see it.
You can go into the summer, build well, and then just focus on building an 11. And I'm just looking at the way they're building. And the way they're playing, bro, it's no different to last season. You would have thought another full preseason under his belt. Arteta
It is the first game of the season, but there's
gotta get my
certain
punches
things,
in on Arsenal,
but
though.
there's certain things here that I was seeing, and I was like, oh my gosh. I remember that when I saw the whole news about Aubameyang and Lacazette not starting, I thought to myself, you know what? For the Arsenal fans, or Arsenal in general, this might actually be helpful. You know, you get to see your Martinelli, your Balogun, and everything.
They've been screaming for Martinelli.
And what I then realized was, there's talent, but there's application as well. And I think that the stint that Balogun plays especially will be probably the best learning experience he's ever had, because this is under 23.
Yeah.
You can be a bagsman, but there's certain things you have to do. We'll go to you now, but look at Greenwood's performance. I was watching, I was thinking, this guy is playing like a proper striker, occupying space in the centre halves, peeling wide, dropping in, flick-ons, that he understood it and he applied his talent. Whereas I didn't see that from Balogun first game. Right, cool. What I did see though was Smith Rowe doing exactly what Saka was doing last year, carry job. So again, Arsenal going into another season having to rely on youngsters who are not being coached to improve. Safe, we know what's going to happen. Watch when them man get injured.
Me, man. I can't lie to you, bro. Smith
a neat
Rowe is
footballer.
great. And I tried to be a nasty hater last year. I tried to deny it. I was like, nah, he ain't got it, bro. When I went and watched him live up close, I said, nah, this kid's got something. I don't know why they're trying to bid 70 million or whatever for Maddison. Cancel that shit. Spend your money elsewhere because you've got a nice number 10 there that you can build on.
I like the fact you brought up Maddison because I didn't have him in the transfer talk. But
Yeah.
we'll go into that.
But one other thing as well, and you were talking about Lacazette and Oba missing, yeah. There was one man I expected to step up. There was one man Arsenal fans have been telling me all summer's going to have a breakup, yeah. There was one man they kept, Casa de Pepe, they said. Man were making drip videos all summer. 15 different outfits, going back to the hood, handing back Arsenal shirts to go and stink it up against a left back who's just got signed from Exeter or something like that 2 years ago. Brother, 75 million. When are we going to see some returns?
Yeah.
When?
You know this figure thing, we'll go into a conversation about it because the figures are interesting. But he has to have a big season this year.
Oh.
He is it fair to say that Pepe is the marquee signing at Arsenal?
He's been their biggest marquee signing in
So he has to show something this year.
Bro,
He has to. And it's not enough for, you know, when they say like, oh, he's gonna rise, he's gonna develop. Develop is not enough. He has to be the man. I have to be so honest with you. I really appreciate Saka. I really appreciate Smith Rowe. Like, I think they're really good talent.
Has to lead.
But I don't expect them to be the face of the franchise almost. For me, Pepe has to be that. That's what you brought in to
100%.
do. And I'm not talking about goals and assists. I'm talking about how you captivate the team and take over stuff.
Yeah.
Because like I said, ever since Oba signed that deal, it's not been it for me. Lacazette has not been it for me for a long time.
Yeah.
So the next person has to be him.
And on Friday, whenever they were playing, every time Arsenal were doing semi-decent moves, building up play, it would get to Pepe and he would always want to take one touch too extra, one dribble move too much. Starts and passes it back. I'll give them credit though. That Lokonga kid, Sambi Lokonga,
He looks good.
decent.
He looks good.
Looks decent. And we're keeping eyes on him.
But
he's
like
looking
we just
decent.
said about, you know, Smith Rowe, Saka and everything.
Little unit.
You're
young
gonna get
unit.
another youngster who's not gonna be coached or developed, and then you're gonna rely on his sort of talent. And then, as youngsters do, they fall off a bit and everything. Then you're gonna start complaining. Meanwhile, your three-headed dragon of Laka, Abba, and Pepe.
Misfiring. But they will tell you, hey, look at my new Dior. I got a drip video out on my
You're
Insta.
dead dumb. Let's touch United. So obviously, me and Cam went to this game. Cam put me in a headlock. I can't lie, the performance, very good performance still. I can't lie. You see Pogba, yeah?
So annoying.
Do you have to apologize about your Pogba and Ndombele thing?
No, because I think you lot are still misquoting what I said about Ndombele. I said when Ndombele gets the same amount of time that Pogba has had in the Premier League, Ndombele will have a bigger impact. So far, Ndombele is going into his 3rd year. Pogba's going into his 6th. We still got 3 years.
Yeah, but Ndombele's been like this is a second manager.
I'm just gonna call off on any Pogba and Ndom comparisons for the future. That was nice though.
Right.
What was it? Four
4
assists in the game. Has that ever happened before?
It's happened, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of players that done it, but all the players in the list are like wangable players. Hold on, wait. Yo. Oh man, he fumbled. I tried calling
Cam.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Half-hearted Cams.
Listen, man, goal or paying him too much. But yeah, no, it's happened a few occasions. I think Adebayor did it for you guys. Randomly, yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Because when I saw his name on the list, they had a white circle next to him as opposed to a red one. So that means he must have done
Okay.
it for you guys. There's probably 4 Arsenal players. I think Shearer done it once.
Yeah.
But for me, what I loved about the performance here was I've come to realize, I think I tweeted afterwards, that you see with Pogba, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, certain times you pay, you know, when they pay that money for 8-9 million, it's like, we want you to be all seeing, all encompassing.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to the conclusion that with certain players here, you can't mold them into what you want them to be. You have to accept what they are. Pogba can't be your main guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think Pogba relishes in the fact that Bruno wants to be the hero, but I'm going to do all of this. And then he can just vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know he's from Guinea, but I'm telling you now, I've never seen a more Congolese person in my life. He's just there to have fun and enjoy football. Touches, passes and everything. Have you noticed, anytime he's enjoying himself, it works. And that's why, you know, when I always talk about France and they talk about him and Kante working well, I don't think it works because they're saying, oh, Kante runs anything. It's because Pogba's allowed to sort of, you know, enjoy his football whilst Kante does this sort of more, not industrial, but it does the more sort of practical elements of football. The elements that, you know, at Gary, those managers tell you that, listen, that's what's more important.
Scott McTominay. yesterday.
Here we
The
go.
way he started that game, bruv, 100 mile an hour.
Yeah,
like,
that's why he got
credit to him.
subbed off, innit? He
That's-
burnt through, burnt
Bro,
out.
he was clattering, man, for the first 5-10 minutes. But Pogba, honestly, that's the Pogba I think United fans want to see 38 games in a week. That's the biggest issue with Pogba.
What, you reckon it's the consistency?
It's the consistency
So
thing.
can I ask you
no
this
one ever
question?
disputes his quality.
You see that style
when
of
you
play,
saw
yeah?
that, the pass for the first one, was that the one where Greenwood ran onto it?
No,
Or
that was the second
that
one.
was a
where he threw
Bruno
the
one.
ball, yeah.
The Bruno one even was beautiful.
Yeah.
Then you've got like the range and variety of passing this man
Yeah.
has is incredible, bro. And we saw it at the Euros. We said before France got knocked out, he was comfortably player of the tournament for me.
Would you say, production, this one for you as well, yeah? Would you say, yeah, when you are, 'cause lack of a better term, when you are a vibes player, yeah, one of those players that plays on feeling.
The cherry on
yeah,
top.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a cherry on top.
Not cherry on top,
Icing.
but like, no, not even icing. It's like
He's the
the
middle,
way you.
the base, the jam.
the jam.
What, the jam in the donut?
Victoria's sponge.
What Kante's like the donut? Is it? Holds it together. What's there? You know,
You're childish.
You know, sometimes if you batter it, it just spills out. And it's just now your shirt's all dusty. and all that. Like, you see, when you're that sort of player, yeah,
Yeah.
is it harder to then get consistency for a whole season because your whole thing is based on almost how you're feeling, on how you are? Because think about it, if you're like a practical player like Scott McTominay, like, my thing is, he's the type, in his head, he knows first 5 minutes each game, I'm going to go smash someone, I'm going to do this. And like, it's very understandable to understand like how he gets a good game.
Yeah.
With Pogba and players like that.
Do you know?
Even Ozil to a certain extent, because people say about
Yeah.
Ozil that, you know, for a full season, he
you know
doesn't do it.
what's-
It's moments. Is it harder to expect consistency from that sort of player?
I hear what you're saying, and I think it is hard to to expect consistency of that level from anybody anyway. But I think when you see Pogba's quality, you want it. And the thing is, for me, I think one thing that actually does help him that Ollie's done as well. We have to give Ollie credit for this. The left wing move, bro. I
What,
can't
middle
lie to you.
wing?
I think that, especially when they're playing the counter-attacking football, it helps them massively because he's almost the first outlet ball. And then for him, it's just basically look up, who can I find? Ping. Bruno's there. Dan James is making runs. Greenwood's making runs. And it actually helps him rather than the number 6 and number 8 position where he's far too deep sometimes. And he's dilly-dallying. How many times have we seen Pogba dilly-dally in front of his box?
But you know
and
it
lose
is.
And they get frustrated.
I'll give Cram
But
credit for
keep
it.
him away from the danger. I know he's not naturally a number... yeah, he's naturally like a further forward player. I just think the number 6, him wearing it, fucks with everyone's head.
Yeah.
He needs to swap that number.
think-
But I think the left wing move works.
I think the
for me.
expectation of him, especially because of like his physical attributes and like his ability, you would expect him or want him to do certain things. But again, we're watching it.
Bro, we saw
And I give
Rashford was out of commission and said, "Yo, let me feed the kids."
I'll give my man credit. You mentioned, he said Pogba lacks intensity in his game, and you know when you're like a centre mid, especially Premier League,
yeah,
you have to have intensity. Even if you're not active in the game, you have to be able to get around and do stuff. Pogba, he'll get the ball. He's moving his waist. He's very vibes in it. Like the intensity that he comes with is very different. He's there for vibes.
nonchalant.
Yeah, not laissez-faire.
Semi-
Laissez-faire.
Okay.
Laissez-faire. Nonchalance, like,
I get what you mean.
yeah. Like
The only thing I would say about Pogba, is he plays like he's supposed to be the best player on the team at the start, but he's a complementary player.
Yeah.
But the problem is because he plays like he's the star. It's
it's the
confusing.
ability.
It
It's the ability. When you see that
everybody.
ability, yeah, you look at the ability and you go, this guy is a
Give him
world
the ball.
beater.
Just
He's
give him the ball. Just give him the ball.
But what you have to realize is, even in him, even when he talks and stuff, he like, I don't want to relate to the Hazard thing, but you know when Hazard was like, I just want to enjoy football.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Hazard
yeah,
could
yeah,
still
yeah.
relish in being the
I
main
feel
man
that.
and carry.
I feel that.
But remember, that only really typically kind of came towards the end of Chelsea.
Yeah.
Before, he wasn't like done da 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 da. It was in that last season where he said, you know, I'm gonna do everything.
But he was always the best.
But he was
player.
always- he
even
was always-
when they won the league with
No,
Mourinho,
but-
he was the best player.
No, the best.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about, for instance,
That's true.
like
That is
the
true,
best player. But with Pogba, like Pogba, you could say Pogba is the best player at United. But in terms
He's
of
the
the
best footballer at Manchester.
Damn,
United.
okay, you know what? That's the best one, the best footballer. And you're saying best, you know what? That's probably the best way to play it. He's the best footballer,
Yeah.
but Bruno is the one in terms of the output and everything. He's the
I
hero.
would
Him,
say
bruv.
Bruno's the more decisive player.
Yeah.
Bruno's the hero.
Yeah,
Bruno's
but
the
he's
hero.
better footballer.
Yeah.
I can't lie to you, man. Bruno, the hat trick. That
Fam.
was cold. That was cold. I mean, all the finishes were cold as well. What was it? The first one, left
The
foot.
one from the Pogba pass.
The one where he
Lindelof
cut. The one where he cut inside as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
I can't. Like, that's cold. Like 3-4 man there as well.
Yeah.
Bury that. Then the rifle for the last one.
Yeah, he's
Listen,
on violence. He's
we
on
always
violence.
say he's jammy, Penandez or whatever,
He's
but that
never a
was
ball man.
top
A
class.
lot of the
hat-trick.
United fans would have been fuming, bro. It's like, oh man, we've got to.
Listen,
we can't discredit him.
He's a shadow striker as well. Can we acknowledge that? He's not a midfielder. Bro, he almost plays like a second striker, bro. I swear.
Talk to me. Why would you say he's a?
Because I remember towards the end of last season, United at times were almost lining up in a 4-2-4 because he was going so far forward. And the runs he was picking up in the first and second half, I was just like, bro, this guy actually doesn't like the dropping in midfield, picking up the ball.
No, don't I
don't think that's his game.
No, you
I
can't expect
think
him to
his
control
game
the
is
game.
actually best in the final third. But I think now he's adjusting to that. He's like, you know what? Let me creep further and further up the pitch, and I think it works for them.
I think he's always been. I think when he signed, I remember like saying here, it might be jammy performances, but he's literally on the pitch to get goals and assists.
Bro, I remember when
his
he
whole
first.
thing.
Do you remember when he first came though? How many shots was he taking outside the box?
Yeah, because
he was just like, hey, this is long shot FC.
Because his whole thing is, I'm on the pitch to affect the game in terms of the results.
I love that about him, man.
He's not about controlling the game and all of that. That's where, the flicks and everything from Pogba comes in.
Yeah.
Pogba doesn't want to be the hero. He just wants to have fun.
Yeah.
And do all of that stuff. Then when
Bruno
you've got
wants to be
like
the
Greenwood, he wants literally, he's hero ball.
I love that about Bruno. The character to always want to be the main man. I mean, he gets so much grilling as well.
Well, Harry Kane gets it as well.
Bro, but that takes fucking balls, bro.
No, it's
Not
true.
a lot of
It's
men
true.
have that in this game nowadays, bro. And
It's true.
I got to respect Bruno, man. That was a class hat trick.
Let's quickly, because there's a few games I want to touch on here. Let's talk.
And
Chelsea.
let me just say as well, Leeds. I'm sorry, Bielsa. This is season 2. Second season syndrome's about to kick in, my brother. You better find a plan B. This busting cheeks on opening day, it can't run for any
what's
longer.
going on with man?
The thing
Bare
is,
cheeks talk today.
no.
What's wrong with the man?
I remember last season, it started off like this for him as well, and I was getting on to him. All I'm saying is second season syndrome, be aware.
Do you know what I'll say though? Yeah, in that game,
Bro, there was no adjusting.
but things when
in-game management.
When United switched it on, it was a wrap, and the difference in quality was clear to see. But in the first half, what I did see is I didn't see Leeds of last year. I think the intensity was a bit different. The intensity was on the ball. When they had the ball, they looked like they were constructing passes a lot better than United. It was 1, 2, 3, boom, but it was just like it was.
Do you think that's because of like
weird.
this disjointed preseason everyone's having type of thing? With
I
the
think a lot of teams.
That's what I'm thinking.
A lot of teams won't have
really
it.
ain't that excuse. But I remember the commentators trying to sneak that one in.
A lot of
to do
teams
some
won't
homework
have
on
it,
this.
but at the same time, I think a lot of teams will try and use that excuse. So I think Bielsa might be like, Calvin Phillips is not fit, he's my anchor man, I need him. I think a lot of teams are going to try stuff like that. But again, this is where management and developing players comes in. And again, I'm not gonna heavily put this on Tuchel, but Chalobah's a great example. This was the first guy. He was in no one's plans.
We'll get onto you, man.
He was in no one's plans. This is someone, if you look at defenders, Mark Gahey was, he's gonna come back, get sold. Tomori, get sold. Mark Gahey's probably just come for pre-season and what now, Done a couple of tackles. Tuchel's looked and thought, you look kind of decent. Few pre-games next, he's starting Super League. Yeah. Has a decent game. Huh?
You meant Chalobah.
Sorry. Chalobah. No, I said Gay as in he got sold, but I mentioned Chalobah before, but that's my bad. 2 games, 2 good performances. Now it's like, you know what?
What a goal. And I thought Ayling's goal against United was a good quality one. Chalobah's one was so clean. And literally, as you said, I think it's the surprise factor.
Yeah.
The fact that, and the thing is, I'll give Chelsea fans credit because they've talked about him for a little while. That little Youth Cup core.
Yeah.
They've always said,
do you know
he's
what I like
the next
about him,
one that's going to come through of that batch. And I was always just like, I don't know. Because his brother didn't make it. Didn't he have an older brother as well?
Yeah, Nathaniel was, listen, let me quickly say,
injuries ruined him.
Nathaniel, at youth level, I can't lie, I'm not even gassing. At youth level, Akpom was a guy at youth level. Like, everyone knows that Akpom was a guy.
Gunman.
The other guy,
the
other guy that was youth level done, Chalobah. Chalobah, like at youth level, oh my gosh, you go and watch him, and you'd be like, this guy's majestic.
Give Loftus-Cheek his flowers as well.
Loftus-Cheek as well.
Loftus-Cheek as well.
But the two, but Chalobah and Akpom at youth level, like, what's the closest to generational without saying generational?
Yeah, no,
at youth level,
I hear what you're saying
it was different.
That man were national.
I respect that, The national titles, they got it. But it's nice to see young Chalobah's now come through carrying the family name as well.
You think for me now, it's about, you've got your chance. Similar to Tanganga, you've taken it. How far can you push it now? Like, and just in terms of the way he's performed, he's done well. Like, I always have time for players that take the opportunities. that say, you know, even like Tammy said, you know what, I've got an opportunity to go and be a main man at a really big team. I'm gonna do it.
Jose as well, man.
Jose,
I know Jose will.
Listen, we say
get them
Jose
most
doesn't
out of
coach,
it.
but one thing he does do, he maximizes strikers.
Yo, when you go look at his record of number 9s,
So
crazy.
That's an off tangent, but I respect it.
Now, this might be premature. I know it's only 2 games.
Go on.
Do you still sign Kunde if Chalobah's there coming through?
It's a good question. With that signing originally, I wasn't questioning it because I think he's a good defender, but I was like, okay, what is the plan behind it? Is this a contingency that, you know, Thiago Silva may not play as many games and then he's gonna, you know, decommission next season, and Azpi's getting older. Azpi's still a quality footballer, fantastic defender, but with the way he plays, especially if you're going to be in the back 3, you're going to need people around him. I thought if you're doing it for that, it makes sense. I still think it's very soon to kind of make the decision on Chalobah. It's very similar to, for me, the Christian situation when Christian came in.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, he 1 game good, 2 games good, 3 games good. You need to kind of see it after a while. Because ultimately, you got to let players develop. Hold on. Breaking news. Wagwan. What you telling me?
Yo. Hey, you're live on the airwaves, big man. This guy just woke up from a nap.
From HMP Thameside, you know, I'm almost back, you know, fresh home next week. Shout out to man, you know what I mean? First season, the first episode of Stoppage Time, man. Hope you man are holding it down.
Fam, we told the fans that that goal are not letting you record for image rights.
Yeah.
So
I'm sorting out my image rights, you know what I mean? Can't get back. Production sorting it out with me right now.
what are you saying though? We're saying what? United performance. Quick one, 20 seconds. What are you saying?
I mean, that's what it's all about, you know what I mean? That's how you get the crowd going. That's how you get the season going. 5-1 win, dominant performance, all the best players turned up. And listen, last year I predicted Mason Greenwood for Young Player of the Year. It didn't come true. He actually had a bad season. But this year, hey, watch the star boy rise, man. Watch the star boy rise. That's what I'm going to say.
Hey.
Fair enough.
On that note.
I heard that you were eating prawn sandwiches and pies yesterday at the stadium. Is that true?
Come on, man. Hey, listen, prawns, steak and ale. You know what I mean? I was in VIP treatment.
Hey.
Oh man. Alright, bro, man. I'll catch you afterwards, in a bit.
Hey, culture comes.
He's too dark. But yeah, no, the Chelsea performance was good performance, man. Marcus Alonso, whoever made him a left back here is a criminal.
Cuzzy, that man's left foot, is possessed by the
How many goals,
shaitan.
random, how many goals do you reckon you would get if you played up front for a Premier League team?
Don't laugh.
No, big man thing.
He's been saying this for a couple.
No. I genuinely believe he's hitting double figures. I genuinely believe it. Just from set pieces alone, and then you put him in the... Bro, this man gets up from wing back and chips in with like 3, 4, 5 goals.
Alonso
on
is so
open play.
useless.
You add on top of his set pieces, and now you're putting him further up the pitch. I've always said, play him left forward. That's where you lot need to play him.
He's so useless in transition. He's so useless at tracking back. He has no legs. He's so lackluster. You know that man there?
But that
his
foot-
whole demeanor. But his left foot,
Shaitan.
He's a Real Madrid product. So people
yeah.
need to remember
The
that.
tech is there, innit? The tech is there.
Father's a legend there.
Fam,
as
real
well.
talk.
His
I don't
father's
know.
got 4 Champions Leagues. He's added 1.
Legend.
Fam.
Rah, he ain't even big fish in his family. His dad said, hey, come here, young pup. Let me show you the way. Hey, he was part of that Gento and them, man, when they were there. Puskas. Them man there.
Them heritage ones.
Shit.
But no, it was a good performance. A good way to start the season.
Just quickly as well, with Lukaku coming in now,
Yes, talk to me.
you're now getting that big number 9 that I think is going to make the
This
difference.
is a lovely transition because we're going to talk
And-
about
and-
transfers and what.
But I just want to quickly touch on, what do you think are the best pieces to put him around him?
So
Because we were touching on this off mic.
So in all honesty, I would say I understand the 3 at the backs there. That's cool. You've got your 2 wide men, fullbacks. I'm not gonna say that he's similar to Latoro, but you know how Lukaku and Latoro ran up that the double and everything, he had the width and everything. I would say him and Havertz. I would say him and Havertz is cash
Exactly
money
what I was
because
saying.
the way Havertz operates here, he's such a technical, gifted footballer.
Bro.
He's so the way he evades space, the way he moves. I don't want to say he's one of these Remontada last of dying breed because he's more than that. He's such a good footballer, and I think people are gonna. He's saying that Greenwood, young player. I think Havertz is gonna put his stamp on that. To be honest,
Bro, this is the
But-
breakout year.
and I think that when you have like someone like Lukaku, who, you know, sometimes likes to get involved in the play, you know, does the whole pinning and everything, it means that Havertz can run off. And
Yep.
we saw it when in those Leverkusen seasons when it got towards the tail end and he started playing basically false nine and everything,
Mhm.
he loves running past someone.
Yeah.
He loves running past someone. He loves having width around him. So I think if he ran those two in the 3-5-2, I reckon you could get a lot of value for your money.
100%. That's what I
And
said.
with Timo, I know people are saying Timo and everything. I feel like with him, because of the way he plays and everything, and the league he's in now, I think the expectation of him to carry the goals based on his sort of CV before is too much for him.
Yeah,
However,
100%. That was
having
too
someone
heavy
like
last year.
Timo come off the bench, are you taking the piss?
Voila.
Are you taking
Voila,
the piss?
bro.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No
when you
pressure then
when
as
you
well.
want to win titles and everything, right? You have to have a stacked squad. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think ultimately Lukaku's the only player in that team that can. How do I phrase it? Last season, when we won the Champions League, there was no player that I thought,
There was
this
no
is their
marquee
team.
guy, yeah.
This is their team. I know Mason Mount, was, doing that captain-like stuff. and everything,
Yeah.
But there was no player that you looked at and said, this is their team.
Do you remember I kept saying that as well, where I was like, this Chelsea team, I feel like don't deserve it because they don't have that.
That one
They're
person.
not,
that's this
they're
team.
not that one person.
Lukaku's
They're all
coming
like
back in his
budding
prime,
up and coming
yeah.
players. But Lukaku, I feel like
He's coming
gives him
back in
that
his prime.
big dog stamp.
His team. And
Yeah.
I think for him, after everything, his kind of career path and everything, it's perfect for him. It's perfect for someone like Havertz, who's like, you know what, that's you, but I want it as well. I think it could, and defensively, we knew that, we've done well. Where we lacked was the goal scoring. Jorginho was the top goal scorer
With what,
last
12?
season.
What's
7
that?
goals. 7 goals
That was in the league, innit?
all pens. You now add someone, and the thing is, people always do this
So
thing with
mad.
Lukaku where they say, it's stat padding, it's small teams. All right, cool. If he comes in and he only scores against quote unquote small teams, and we're scoring better goals, and we're not having the issues we had last
Makes
year,
no
and we're
difference.
defending well, that's cash money. That's cash money. In the big games, Alonso will score free kicks.
Yeah.
Werner will come off the bench. Like, stuff will
100%.
happen. And I think Lukaku is
you have
going
a
to score in
team
those
for.
big games anyway. So that's what a team's for. So,
But I do think there will be more eyes on Lukaku in those big 6 games and in
well,
the Champions
let's
League.
talk about it
Yeah.
because we're speaking on him. What's the expectation in him? For me, my expectation in him is ultimately we've got Harry Kane here. Harry Kane is a staple of what strikers are in the Premier League. He is the guy that front runs the Golden Boot. Well, Salah's the forward, but I'm talking about centre forwards. My thing is you have to level, or if not, do more
Hit
than
the nail
him.
on the head.
That's my expectation for him, and I think he probably expects of himself as well because you can't come as the big signing. You've been signed you're the top, in the top 10 signings in terms of value.
All-time.
You're twice in the Premier League now in that list. So you can't come into the
United
Premier League
75, yeah.
and not expect to not prove that. I think the same thing with Varane as well. I think Varane's very good. I think in the last few years we've looked at and think, this is not the same player. VVD is the standard. Diaz came in and said, I want to be the standard.
Yeah.
For me, Varane has to come in and be like, listen, I'm here. Me and Maguire as a duo,
100%.
no one can talk to us.
I feel like numbers-wise, 20 goals minimum,
What, in the
30
league?
goals. Yeah, 30 goals all comps. That's what I would expect from Lukaku because of what I've seen him do over the last. I'm not even saying.
Do you know why it's mad?
I
Because
predict
Tammy,
that.
2 seasons
No, I
ago, Tammy
think he
got
will get
15
it.
no pens. So
It's
asking
doable,
20
bro.
for Lukaku should be like
It's
minimum
doable,
expectation.
yeah,
But for
and
me,
and
I don't
30
like to bank on
But
numbers
my
too
thing
tough.
is I want
bro.
him to close that gap on Lewandowski and Kane. I truly think he's not as far off as people think. I know people will look at it and say, "Oh, Lukaku's miles over." Nah, bro. If he puts down a solid season and, as you say, matches or betters Kane, enter him in that conversation for the nines because I don't think he gets any mention.
Oh, you
or
mean
any
in
love.
terms of like the best
Like
strikers?
the best strikers
Where-
in the world?
For you personally, I know it's off
I've got
tangent.
him
but
third.
You've got him third.
I've got him third.
So you've got what? Lower.
Lower
Kane.
Kane, then Lukaku. And especially for me, it's the improvements. Even at the Euros, what we saw, people sleep on that, bro. He was monstrous at the Euros, bro.
A lot of people are still talking about the big game thing at the Euros, though.
Big game hype, bro. People want to nitpick, and it's always the United fans, man. Listen, you man are gonna eat your words this season. I
Listen,
promise you. Drogba, idle, unfinished business at Chelsea, unfinished business in the Premier League, bro. He is on a mission, and I'm telling you, if there's one thing I know about Lukaku, it's he's got elite mentality. Bro.
100%.
The last thing you need to do for Lukaku is set him a challenge and tell him, there it is.
Yeah.
He's got 3 reasons right there to go and kill it this
Do you
season.
know, the reason why I'm happy for him, is because it all works in like weird ways. Like I don't think if Inter went in the situation they were in, he wouldn't have wanted to leave. I think he was cool there. I think he wanted to kind of further that.
Bro, just 2 months ago he tweeted out,
Yeah,
I'm happy in Milan.
But obviously things happen and everything, and you get the perfect opportunity. Like I know people are going to be like, "Oh, it's not home. He wasn't there. He moved here when he was a young kid." Like
Bro.
to him, this is what he knows, innit?
That Rock Nation video where he's
Lit.
just staring at Stamford
Yeah,
Bridge.
man
And
said,
this
I'm
is
gonna
like,
play here. Man said,
bro,
man said,
he's-
they're telling me to leave. Don't worry, one day I'm gonna
Fam.
play here.
they're literally trying to drag him like, yo, we gotta go sign the contract. He's
said,
like,
I'm
no,
gonna play here.
I'm
don't
gonna
worry.
score goals.
Fam,
here
he was
one
on the
day.
tour. He was on a stadium tour. It wasn't even a
Was-
contract. He was on a stadium tour. Yeah, it was on a stadium tour, and they were trying to pull him away. He said, "Listen, don't worry. I'm
Lukaku's
gonna play."
eating this season.
So, boy, listen.
Brother, he is eating. I'm sorry.
Who else we got in terms of players? I mean, let's get to the elephant in the room, Grealish.
Hey,
So,
headband man, you in trouble.
no, the thing is, yeah,
Headband
you're done.
man, you in trouble.
Listen, wait, the old headband. I can't lie. The only headband man is ASN. You see the Louis V headband today?
Hey, that
It
was
wasn't even a headband. You know the
Hey.
scarves. You know the scarves that you used to wear around your neck when
He's
you
got
went
the
tape.
auntie scarf.
Yeah. He wrote. He
Nah,
said,
man, I felt like
and
he's
he
taking it
double
too far.
tied it.
He's taking it too far, man.
But no, what?
But he
What?
dripped even in his performance.
Yeah. What would you say the expectation of Grealish is? Because in my honest opinion, I look at the Pogba situation, and I won't take too long with this. When Pogba came in and it was 8-9 million, we were saying that you are the marquee signing. You have to be all encompassing and everything. 6 years later, I'm changing my tune, saying, you know what? If you look at him as a player, he's a vibes guy. Just let him enjoy, and you get from it. You've got a player in Jack Grealish where, in terms of output, like actual output that you look at, the output has never been fantastically high. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Goals you don't really get. Assists you get. Goals not really. What you do see though is influence in performance, influence on team, influence on when he comes on the pitch, influence on what he does and everything. So now, when we're looking at expectation of that sort of player, is it fair to say that he has to, be better than KDB, be better than Pogba, or how do we? For the better question I'm trying to ask is, how do we assess what his impact has to be? Because
We
already,
measure him on new standards, bro. That's what we do.
go on, talk to me.
You
Talk to me
move
what the
to
new
a
stands
new
are.
club, you level up, and we measure you up at this level now. Like, people are talking about influence, and I feel like the influence thing sometimes is a little bit of an excuse to kind of look away from the numbers. And I'm not even like a stats guy, but if the players
said
who
that
are at
twice
the
now.
top, the players who are at the top,
Moving like a stats guy.
no, but the players who are at the top make the difference and still put up the numbers as well. And especially when you're in this City team who score as much as they do, who create as much as they do. He improved his numbers last year. He's shown that when Gareth Southgate says to him, "You're not getting in this England team unless you score some goals," he can do it. Cool. Now let me see your influence that people say are so great. Now you're in a City team. You might not have this same influence. Because where at Villa, I've always said, you're the academy kid, you're the captain. You're the playmaker.
Local
so
boy.
everything goes through you. It's literally Grealish ball. And now you're in Man City where you're just another piece. You're just another name on the list. You're just another pawn on the chessboard. And it's like, are you really going to have that same influence? Today, for example, I saw they were trying to get him involved in a lot. And I was like, sometimes I feel like they're almost trying to force it where, yo, go and create something for us. And he will have to step up for me this season. In the Champions League, he's never played before. Now, in all honesty, I'm putting number expectations on Grealish because of how many goals City score. I can't be having man telling me at the end of the season, Grealish is the best player in the Premier League, as our co-host will tell you. Oh, he's the best player for England, but he's got 6 goals and 7 assists in a Man City team that have scored 150 goals all season. Huh? Nah, bro. 12 and 12 minimum.
What did Foden get last year?
Whatever Foden definitely got more than that.
I think
I
Foden
remember.
had 15 goals.
I was thinking, because I remember
Foden got something like that. And that's another thing as well that I'm watching very closely. You are the all-time Premier League transfer fee. You better be playing every game. You better not be another one of these rotation players like Mahrez or these good ones that get rotated in and out. You're the marquee guy. The team better be built around you.
say you're the face
And
of the
thing
league.
Bro, you're the face of the
see-
franchise. You're the face of the franchise. You're basically coming in to long-term replace KDB. And if he stifles Foden's that projection that we saw, because headband man can't create no more. Headband man, you in trouble.
Oh man, who else we got? We spoke about Varane, Sancho. Sancho's gonna be interesting for me because I feel like United fans won't want to talk about it because ultimately they always do this thing where, yeah, but Oli. yeah, but Ole. Yeah, but Ole. But I think this is the year that you can't say yeah, but Ole, because you know what to expect. 1 and 2, you made some signings,
Yeah.
and you can't tell me just because of one player, one midfielder, you can't go and do something, because we've seen teams, you know, win leagues without their main player. City won the league without KDB. We've seen teams win without that one thing, which has been the, you know, the creme de la creme for them. I get how important that midfielder is, but there's ways around things. You get where I'm coming from. So with Sancho, what is the expectation on him? Because ultimately he's coming into a side where they've needed him in that position. They've got him finally. They've been trying to get him for 2 years. This is a player, you know, who put up massive numbers in Germany.
Yeah.
I think the reason why I worry for him is because United is typically toxic, and I think they won't understand the type of player he is. You know, we talk about and say that Bruno's the hero. Pogba's the vibes man. If you add Sancho to that, Sancho's the facilitator. He's supposed to he's supposed to help the party. He's not supposed to be the main man in the dance, innit? But I have a feeling that because they've signed him and this fee and everything, they're gonna be thinking,
expect that.
Yeah, it's like, fam, Sancho played and he didn't get five assists and 10 goals. and that's where I worry, because I don't think he's gonna have the level of numbers he had in the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga is very different.
There's gonna be a Bundesliga tax?
I think we see how that league is, and that's not. And the thing is, when I say tax here, I don't want to call it tax. I just think that the way the league is played is very different.
Yeah,
I think there's more opportunities for you to expose defenses in those leagues.
The highlines are crazy.
Yeah, it's like, imagine Leeds playing, like Leeds would go there.
There's like 8 different versions of
Leeds
in that
there
league,
you go, because teams just, I don't want to say open cheeks because you said that, but they just do. That's what they do. They just open it up. So I worry that there's going to be a high expectation of him when he'll probably have a good season anyway, but he might get, you know, 8 assists, 8 goals, and people look at it and be like, but you're getting all of these mad numbers. So
I think Sancho will still do his thing, in all honesty, man. I think he's a quality player. I've always said, me personally, I've always said, out of the young batch in the world, the under 21s or whatever, for me, it's always been Haaland.
We never had that conversation, you know.
It's always been Haaland, Mbappe, then Sancho, and I truly believe
after them two.
Yeah, I've always had him there.
Randomly, where would you put Fatty?
Mbappe's not under 21 though.
No, but I mean,
he's talking about young,
in the last year or so, when we've always had that conversation, I've always had Sancho third. For
the
me,
young star boy crop.
You had Haaland ahead of Mbappe.
No, I had Mbappe, Haaland, and then
because you said Haaland, Mbappe, Sancho.
Those two are interchangeable, man. They change week by week.
In terms of people, like, because again, this is what people mention. Ansu Fati, even though we haven't seen him for a year, people mention
Felix. They always throw in there. Havertz, they throw in there. But I've always been like, Sancho for me has been the most consistent one, and for him to also like be the one that left his country at 17, that's elite mentality. He almost started a trend for all British youngsters, if we really want to be honest. Now he's come back to United, bro.
From Reece Oxford and them man were doing it though.
Reece Oxford, hype, bro. Where is he now? Where is he now?
You're talking about coming back though.
He went Gladbach and disappeared.
Bro,
the thing is,
because he tried to go Augsburg afterwards and thought he was lit. Nah, bro. They sent him back now. Where's he playing? Bro, Google it quickly. I'm sure he is lost in the wilderness. And I remember he came in debut, locked up Ozil, and they were gassed on him. This is, you got to deliver consistently.
Declan Rice took his shine, you know.
And I think
that was Declan Rice before
facts.
Declan Rice.
Aye, big facts
he's
there.
He's at Augsburg still.
Wolfsburg?
Augsburg.
Augsburg.
Yeah, he's still there.
Drowning. But I think Sancho will come and do his thing. Numbers wise, I think, there will be obviously a little bit of a dip on what he would do in the Bundesliga. But this season, I'm not looking at Sancho to say like, yo, you're going to be the final piece for United, push them over the edge. But he is definitely going to be a nice addition to the squad and what they need, I think. Compared to Dan James they've been putting up with. Brother, get Sancho out there now.
Everyone loves a try, but like sometimes...
Know your level.
Yeah.
Know your level.
We had this conversation.
If I was Dan James, I would be asking for a loan.
I was gonna say, if we was watching the game, and we were saying, you see with footballers, at what point, do you sit down and go, I'm not good enough at this level,
bro? They're looking to loan out Ahmad and keep James.
Because even random like this, you know, like if you're like in a team, and then you see your team put in a bid for a player that plays in your position.
It's got to be a little bit nerve-wracking.
Do you feel like, these men feel like I'm shit? like Lindelof. Look at Lindelof now, So Lindelof now, he's playing with Maguire. Before the game kicks off, Varane comes onto the pitch. The pitch is there. He's shaking up Rio Ferdinand. Like, are you in the change room thinking, these men think I'm shit?
I can't lie to you. He put in a solid game as well, and I was like, He saw the handshake with Rio and said, "Oh, rah, you man trying to do me like this." Say less.
Man said you're gonna have to play a free at back.
Bro,
I'm not
I'm
leaving.
telling you. But yeah, man.
Oh
Varane's gonna
man,
have
who
to
else is
slot in.
there? In terms of major signings, there's not been anyone. Kane is potentially gonna leave or potentially gonna stay. In either or circumstance, what do you expect from him this season?
More of the same, to be honest, man. More of the same. I expect nothing like you're
But
the,
the thing
you're
is,
the current golden boot.
is
and
it
you're
more of the
current
same, or is
assist
it
maker.
you now have to go a level beyond? Because if you go City,
Do you know what
the
it
reason I
is
say
with
it?
City? The
Yeah.
reason why I say not beyond, because I still think he'll hit that 20 to 25 goal range. I just don't think he'll have as much assist. I think Pep will probably, because Pep loves his strikers to get involved in the play, but he won't like this. Yo, let me drop in and play QB from DM.
No, but do you know what it is? I phrased it wrong. When I say more, the reason why I'm saying it, I'm not talking about output. I'm talking about if he's going to City, you have to go and secure them the league.
Oh yeah.
Not only that, you have to be
What
the
tips
main
them for
guy
the
in our
Champions
fight
League?
against PSG.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to go to another level. And don't get me wrong,
100%.
with Spurs, it's always difficult to quantify because ultimately Spurs are always going beyond where people really want them to be, or even when they are there, they're like, oh, there's some pretenders. When you go to City, that is completely gone. You have no, not that he's ever had an excuse, but you have no sort of thing to point at anything.
You can say it, bro, because
You have no excuses. You have
people
all of the
always said-
pieces you need.
even Spurs fans have always said, "Oh, Kane, why does he want to leave? He's been in 4 finals and he's been useless in all 4." And I'm like, I don't think the rest of the team has really helped him, because I always say, as a striker, you need service and you need your team around you to perform. There's only so much you can do by yourself. At City, 100%,
He has to bring
be the
everything home
different
for
thing.
them. And
This
for
is
me-
where I'm like, that's why I kind of poke fun at the Grealish transfer, because I'm like, you lot really were one step away from the Champions League, and he's who you brought. That's not gonna, in my eyes, that's not what's tipping you over to win the Champions League. A guy who's never played Champions League football. Do you see what I'm saying?
Is it?
That's just
I'm
how
gonna
I
let-
look
I'm
at
gonna
it.
let you cook
And
it.
then
I
and
don't
then
agree,
and
but I'll
then
let
when
you
I
cook.
look at Kane and I look at today's performance, I'm like, that's what you lot are missing. The amount of chances that came in the box where I was like, if Kane was there, we're dead and buried. And I truly think if City get Kane, unstoppable.
But for me, he definitely has to like.
And then there's no excuses. Like
Yeah.
finals, you must score and deliver.
Yeah.
I'm putting all pressures on Kane when you, bro. When he leaves,
Alright, can I ask you lot 2 quick fire questions
Go on.
before
Go
you
for
go champs and duds? Because he just mentioned about City.
Yeah.
Do you think City are PSG's closest rivals to the Champions League? And do you actually think PSG are the favourites for the rivals after adding Messi?
So me personally, I don't think City are, but City have to be, and it's because of that whole geopolitical thing I told you. If Qatar spending money like that, the Emirates can't chill. The Emirates
there's a
can't
bigger
chill.
picture at play.
The Emirates can't chill. Listen, this is war. This is war.
oil wars.
So listen, don't be surprised if they put the 150 down for Kane, because this is war. And by the way, I wanted to touch the PSG. I actually think Chelsea are a bit closer, you know. And the reason why I say that is because ultimately, not because we're defending champions, I just feel like the way Tuchel is, he understands how to break that down. Number one. Number two, I feel like people, to a certain extent, you know how people are saying, oh, Chelsea favourites. People don't genuinely believe it. I don't think people believe that. I think they're just putting that pressure because we won the Champions League. I think that we can have another season of what we had last year, where it's kind of like, you know what, just operate, and then we get to a situation where when it's quarterfinals, semi-finals. Because
Oh, you mean Champions League?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. People weren't really
Because in
expecting
the league, we can't have that.
No, in the league we've signed Lukaku because we want to go all the way.
yeah.
But I'm talking about in Champions League, people are not going to be looking
Yeah,
at
I can't lie
Chelsea.
to you. Champions League last year, I remember Chelsea fans were mad. Even Cam, I remember early on, like quarterfinals, was saying, "Yo, I think you lot will go final." You know, do you remember you were trying to put the pressure on?
I said
And
after
was like,
Atletico,
this guy
you know what? We can see what happens from here.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have another, because everyone's going to look at PSG and look at City. Because
what are you
ultimately-
saying? So you men are going to be the ones that fly under the radar again?
I believe we can do it again. I believe we can do it again.
But I agree with that. I think even like after today, even maybe it's game week 1, but I'm looking at Chelsea and I'm like, I think you lot are the favourites for the title now. And I'm looking at the Champions League.
Why would you say
PSG
favourite for the
hands
title?
down the favourites, by the way.
That was my second question.
Yeah.
Is at this moment, obviously, squads are not complete
Yeah.
yet. So it's just after match week 1.
I think the Kane is the deciding factor for the title thing. I think if City get Kane, I put them back as the favourites. City don't get Kane, I fancy you lot. I don't fancy
Just based
City.
on squad.
I reckon City will be resting on their laurels in that case and thinking, and I think Lukaku actually makes that much of a difference. That's all you lot were missing.
Yeah,
And-
I can't even run away from it, because ultimately, like I said before, if you've got pattern defense and your issue is goal scoring and you add goal scoring,
And for me,
then
it's
you should be in pole
the
position. to do
coaching
something.
factor as well plays a massive factor, bro.
Yeah.
Like especially in the Champions League, like I can't lie. As much as I hate the guy, my respect for him has grown massively in 2021. Tuchel, bro. I can't hate on the brother. And you know, I had agendas cooking for years, bro. But I can't talk to the guy no more. So I said, you know what? And I think they're the closest team to PSG. PSG.
Let's talk about
Champions League.
Let's discuss this here because we were very harsh on them, saying we weren't harsh. We freed it. We said that their squad building has been the worst thing ever. So now this season,
I need production to tell us that because production was onto us for years for saying, yo, you man are too harsh when they're signing this Yuri Berchiches and all these man. It's calm. They're building, and I said. This summer is the type that they need.
This is the best.
This is what
in terms of like transfer windows. Yeah, how does this rank? Ramos on the free. Messi on the free. Donnarumma on the free.
I've got to say, GOAT. I know there was.
How much was
Real Madrid 09?
Nah, I saw that.
But how much was spent?
Yeah.
How much was spent?
This is the only thing where I'll say Real Madrid 09. Yeah, is it's not because about the money spent. It's about when they got the players. They got paid
In their prime.
to have them for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a bit.
I get it. I get that sense. But for me, what I'm looking at is from how many they got for free. And I'm like, you've literally only paid for essentially one of them, right? Hakimi. And the rest you've got for free. And we're looking at
the price
them
that
like,
brick was bare low.
I'm looking at it like, yo, that is just... No, but I just feel like it's
you raise an interesting point.
Masterstroke. But yeah, I can hear that as well because you're getting all of those players. Like Alonso, they milked him. Kaká was maybe the only one I would say. Yeah, Kaká flop.
No, but
love him,
do you know why this PSG one is mad? Yeah,
injuries. But
why
Benzema, Ronaldo, was Metzelder part of that?
No,
Nah, he was a couple years before that. Oh, Arbeloa, yeah, that was it. There was one or two weird ones in there.
you know how that was Galactico. Yeah, they've signed arguably like one of the best goalkeeper in the world.
Facts.
They've signed one of the best centre backs ever, the best player ever, one of the best fullbacks right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then to add into the mix, they've got a centre mid who can do some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Like, especially in that league. Genie can do a job in that league. Like, if you don't like Genie, cool. But in that league, he can cook.
They needed a Genie type of midfielder as well. Because Paredes is not far from there, to be honest. But I always felt like the Danillos and them slow, sluggish, man, they always plug in DM. And I'm just like, get that out. Get that Idrissa Gueye out of here. Slap in one way. You can just maneuver things around a little bit.
In France, yeah, them sort of leagues,
a little bit more dynamic.
When I see like the Idriss Gueye and Danilo and all that type of stuff, yeah, I understand it, yeah, but it's like you can't try and apply what I call Premier League mentality in France. It's either you get the French holding mid, like I don't know, say like Tushimi and all them guys.
Yeah.
What's my guy's name? Back day.
He's about to go hipster.
Nah, there's a guy.
He's about to go full hipster.
Is it Yamun Villa? You know them man there?
Oh,
them man, yeah. You know them sort man. You know them sort man, yeah? Those are the holding mids you use in France.
Yeah.
I swear they twined Spurs into...
No. It was Sunderland. They twined Sunderland. I remember. Because he went Ruben Kazan or something.
To get peas.
He went... I said, nah, he's finished.
But those are the holding mids that work in France because it's vibes. And then it's not about getting around and tackling.
They zanged them for Capu.
Hey. Now, but Capu balled out at the Europa League, so allow him.
You remember Didier
Sakura? Nah. Capu
but yeah, in the French league, yeah, you need them sort of vibes, man. You can't have these sort of
them clapper DMs. Yeah, it can't run like that. Yeah,
and then I think Ronaldo can do that, but it's interesting. What is Di Maria gonna play left wing back?
No, I think Verratti will play at the base. Yeah, I think it will be. Wijnaldum will be the box-to-box, and I think Di Maria played the left centre mid role for Real Madrid in the Champions League final, the first one I remember. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him dripping there.
And then you have Messi.
And then you have Messi, Mbappe.
If Mbappe doesn't force his way up.
he needs to just embrace let me just see this 1 year.
That's a conversation for another day. But listen, quickly, champ and duds. Duds have got Arsenal. Duds have got Barcelona. Duds have also got Lille.
Oh, that's a shout. I was going to put them in there, actually. Nice are building a little something, though. I can't lie.
Fam,
I might buy some stocks in there.
Add Aston Villa to that list. Spent rats to get slapped about by Watford.
Yes. That they were going to be mine. Aston Villa, I'm sorry, man. And this year, Dean Smith, we need to see you coach, my brother. It's no more Grealish and inshallah. You signed, man. These are you claimed as well. Chairman came and sat in front.
Chairman said,
he said
we had to
We-
replace
we
one
sat
player
through this
with
and-
3 different profiles.
Listen,
He said,
bro.
the creativity of Buendia. He said the directness of Liam Bailey and the goals of Ings. I said, rah. So you man really did this football manager
You
thing.
see
Right,
it.
cool.
You see it. So Dean Smith, your coaching is under lights more than ever. But yeah, Aston Villa definitely. Arsenal, I'm sorry. First ever game since 1940. That line cannot get out of my head. You man are duds for that. I'm sorry. And it's the fact that you lost in the same manner that is like cliche vintage Arsenal. You know, even Gary Neville afterwards, he was like, it's just soft Arsenal. That soft
No, but
Arsenal.
do you know?
like,
Do you know? Do you know?
just-
Forget all of that. Do you know what was so bad about the result? Yeah, it wasn't a surprise. We've come to the
can't
point
lie.
now,
I can't lie.
where it's not a
Yeah.
surprise, and for me, that
Yeah.
tells you everything you need to know about a football club. And I don't like speaking about Arsenal like this and everything because of Arsenal. That I think I tweeted that is a Premier League heritage status club, and I'm talking about them like they're Fulham. Do you get what I'm coming from? Like that's what it's become.
He was a
And
great adversary
how long
once
does
upon a
Arteta
time, man.
realistically have, if we're being real? Because, fam, word to
Arteta's
Tupac,
burying them.
I see no changes, bro. Fam, I'm not seeing anything, bro.
That was good.
I'm
The
not
way you
seeing
slipped that in.
anything.
That was good.
I'm not seeing
well done.
anything, bro. I'm not seeing it.
I said, why do you mention
Fam,
Tupac?
I'm not seeing it, bro. So, on the real, how long has he got?
Yeah.
How long has he got? Champs, I've got Brentford, nice performance.
I can't lie.
I've got Haaland
Oi,
got
respect
Haaland.
Haaland, man.
because he's just doing what needs to be done.
Terminator.
The way him and Malin are moving,
Terminator.
oh my word, that's a
Marlon,
strike
I'm so
partnership
happy for
if
it,
I've
man.
ever seen one. Pogba and Bruno together.
My coach.
I've got
I'm giving it to my coach as well, personally.
Nuno. I can hear that.
Nuno
I can hear
done
that.
it.
Chaloba.
Chaloba, yeah.
Chaloba,
I've
big
got
up.
Chaloba there as well.
Man cried when he celebrated.
Yeah,
Man,
bro,
Oh,
fam,
I
man.
almost cried, bro.
And it is. I've got a random one, but I've got to the social media teams. United and Chelsea. What you did with those announcements, I can't lie.
Aye. The Lukaku one was hard. I can't lie. I said, but it was funny. Let me let Chelsea have them. Nice. You know where I was gonna go, but we'll leave that one over there.
Oh man, listen. That's production. You got any champ or duds?
Now you man covered all bases.
Calm.
Yeah,
Listen.
good to show. You
Listen.
guys are the champs. Good
Hey.
show.
Listen. Oh, I was gonna say, hold tight.
The people who show up to work.
Yeah, me. We the champs.
Oh, my word. No, listen, on the real, big up for you for AFTV as well. That's a sick look.
Hey.
Flipping, hold tight, you guys as well. All of the messages, we see them. All of the support, we
Trust me.
see it. Listen, we're back. We're running now. The best in the game are back. We're back to sit on our perch.
Hey,
New
season.
settings, new season. If you want us to discuss anything, this is what I'm going to start saying. Send it in. If there's any sort of
For real.
conversations that you want us to have that you think are really important, if there's anything we've said or any clips that you want us
We'll
to, you know,
shout
to
you out.
address, share it in.
Hey. Yeah, mate, it's good. You know what we'll do? We'll start adding 5-minute quick fires.
Quick
They'll send
fires,
their
yeah,
questions and we'll let them.
And
We'll add it on
yeah,
at the end, yeah. Shout
And
them out,
also as well,
whatever, yeah.
production. I'm saying it here because Manifest live shows coming this season as well. Live shows coming this season as well. We're
Stoppage
moving,
Time
man.
TV.
We live,
in the flesh.
live, baby.
We live, baby.
Man said, hey,
Hey,
man, you're
trust
dumb.
me.
Listen, that's
Hey.
another episode. Listen, like, share, subscribe, follow the personals as well. Follow the journey. A lot of good shit coming. Listen, we're out.
Trust me.